it's all the same. They wanna play video games, and so I say, put the iPad away in the classroom, where their attention has gone cold. I need a killer app just to get back home. I'm a teacher, engaging students makes me high, so I'm giving NearPod a try. Welcome to Friday in 5. We're going to follow up with NearPod. I've got 2 features I want to show you today. The first one is I'm logged into NearPod here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new NearPod. This is a feature they just added. We've got 2 new features to show today. This one is going to be a content slide, and I'm going to use the field trip. They've got a partnership with a company called Powered by 360 Cities, right? 360 Cities is the name of the company. As you can see here, we've got some beautiful locations that we can just throw up onto our NearPod presentation. I'm just going to come over here to the Vatican and see what we can look at here. We got the spiral staircase, which looks amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and click done there, select that, and now I've got what's called a virtual field trip here included. Every one of these slideshows has to have 2 slides in it, so I'm just going to go ahead and add another generic slide, and I'm going to go ahead and say, welcome to the Vatican, and save it. And then I'm going to go ahead and publish this. So I've got this show that I've created. I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple of categories here and publish it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a live session. And when I do a live session as a teacher, it's going to show me this number that students would need to enter on their iPad through the app or whatever computer they're using. Actually, I can join this session, so I'm just going to come over here and type in NMBKV, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And that's going to prompt me, I'm currently the student here, to give a name and send that in. And the very first slide that I get is this virtual field trip, which allows me to actually check out what's going on in a 360-degree view of this beautiful architecture as a student. So what's neat is it can't show you this with the recording here, but if a student moves their iPad around, it actually is as though they're looking through a window. So the gyroscope actually detects where they are locationally, and you just kind of have to see it to believe it. But as a teacher, I can see which of my students are in. It's green here. Chris is in, and he's checking it out. Obviously, if Chris ever goes somewhere else, like to another tab, and goes to check his email, it will eventually turn red if I'm not engaged in that content. So I would have to get out of it, of course, to prompt that. But the other neat thing that I can do is on the fly, I can ask questions. This is a new feature. So if I wanted to ask an open-ended question or do a true-false question, I could do a true-false. This architecture was built before 600 AD. And if I share that, a true or false question, then what will happen for my students is when they're on NearPod, they're actually going to get that. So I'm going to click that, and we're going to go false there, and then click share. And I can see here as a teacher, this is my dashboard, but what does a student see? Well, they see the question right there on the fly, and that might look like what you've seen before with NearPod, but what's new about it is that I can ask that question on the fly. So I'm going to go ahead and say false. And then as a teacher, so this is the student view, as a teacher I can see one person answered correctly, and I'll close it and end this activity. So 2 new features, the first one being that virtual field trip slide, which is pretty darn cool. Here we're back in this virtual field trip, and then I can ask a question on the fly, meaning I don't have to build it beforehand, which is pretty darn cool. If you have more questions about NearPod, of course, please ask. I'm here to answer them, and we're going to have a rep in again pretty soon. So we're going to have a Bring Your PowerPoint day. So you can bring your PowerPoint, and we'll help you convert it and turn it into a NearPod lesson, and it'll be pretty cool. All right, happy Friday in 5. Go Bells!